Hello, my amazing fifth grade writers. Today, we are going to focus in on one of the final pieces of these narrative writing drafts, which is our endings. Now, this is really our time that we're going to start putting on those finishing touches. And the work we've been doing around putting the meaning and the structure of our stories together has been really, really great, but we haven't yet talked about the endings of our stories. Now, these are the last words that we really leave our readers with, and it has the power to really bring the whole message of your story to light. I want to talk today about one of my favorite stories, which is Charlotte's Web. And I just reread it recently and I remembered why I loved this story so much growing up. It was one of my favorite stories as a kid. And it's because it's full of lessons about friendship and really about being the best version of yourself. And I just love the message of that, of your friendships and being your best version of yourself. But it wasn't until the end of the story, when I finished the ending of this, that I really, really saw another truth hiding behind this, which was the idea that this final line really struck home with me. Here's what it says: "It is not often that someone comes along who is a true friend and a good writer. Charlotte was both." And it was in this moment that I realized something that E.B. White, the author of this story, really wanted readers to know. And that's that even though good things come along in life, like new friends and happy memories, they never can quite fill those old holes that we have in our heart. That's such a strong idea. And his ending really made me go back and rethink all of the book and how important this message really is. Now, today you're going to be learning that just like E.B. White, you can write an ending that can leave your reader with some big thought at the end. Writers think back on what they most wanted or struggled for in their stories, and they ask, what is it that I really want my readers to learn about this struggle or to learn through the journey of reading this story? And then they make sure that they write an ending that shows that message. So, your objective today is that you can create an ending for your narrative and will be able to explain what it is that you want your readers to be left thinking. And you're going to discuss that today with classmates as you're doing this. Pause for a second, put that objective in your own words. What is your goal to get done by the end of today for writing? All right, so as we're thinking about this, there are kind of three questions I really want you asking yourself. First, what is your story really about? Then, what was I reaching toward in my story? What was that goal I wanted readers to have? And then, what is it I want to say to my readers about this struggle, this journey that I want them to have been on throughout my story? I want to move this quick because I don't want you to simply just end your stories. You should resolve the problems and teach the lessons or make changes that tie back to that deeper meaning that you want to leave readers with. No more do we ever just say the end at the end of a story. We leave our readers with a lasting thought, like E.B. White left me with, that really, really strengthens the entire story through your ending. Now, I want to go back to my own draft here and look back at my ending. And before I do that, I want to think about my story. Now, on the outside, my story might look like it's just about asking to join a football team and being told no. But if you look deeper, really my story is about disappointment, right? And how to bounce back from disappointment and how sometimes in life you don't get everything you want. And so when I'm thinking about that, when I come into my ending here, I want to make sure that I leave readers with that message. So right now I simply shook my head no, and he understood what I meant. But you should totally come watch my band play sometime, I responded. A huge smile spread across his face. As the cool autumn breeze blew on our faces, I took a deep breath. This is all going to work out. I just knew it. I'm going to take this part out. I like the autumn breeze part. I like the taking a deep breath. But how can I leave readers with that lasting impression of the deeper meaning to my story? I took a deep breath. And I'll totally watch you come play football. I respond to him. As I say this, I can feel a tight tug at my heart. It's not going to be easy giving up my hopes and dreams of playing football. But maybe that's just a part of life. Sometimes things don't go as we plan. We have to keep moving on and moving forward. I think that does a better job, right, at leaving my readers with more of that lasting impression of what I really want my story to be about. I'm going to come back here. And I want you to do this work now here and look at your draft. And I want you to think about this first piece. At first glance, my story might look like it's just about, but really it's about, I want you to answer that. What is your draft at first glance? So for mine, at first glance, my story might look like it's just about someone asking to play football and being told no. But really, it's about life's disappointments and how to overcome those. Pause the story here and you answer that question for your own. Right, then the second thing I want you to do is to think about what you're going to do today. How could you revise your ending so that it really shows this? I revised my ending by trying to add a little more detail to talk to my reader about that lesson. What do you think you're going to do today to really show that message in your ending? All right, writers, then it is time for you to get going today. Your first step is, if your story is not drafted, we need to get it finished. We are in the final week. We need to get that story finished. Then it's time to revise your ending. Make sure your ending really shows what your story is about. If you finish and you have extra time today, feel free to pause this video here and look at that chart of how we've been raising the level of our narratives. There are a ton of great strategies listed over on that chart. I can't wait to see the endings you all come up with, and I can't wait to hear your final stories later this week.